Greetings, greetings, greetings. We are here. We are here. And I'm in the lab. I'm in the lab by myself and be with you all here on Run Tell That. Again, it's always an honor to be here with the family. We had some people we wanted to be on the show, but then some things happened with regard to them. Some confusion with regards to when they should be on. And then also threw an invitation out to some other people to come on the show. But again, as I tell folks, we go forward. We don't sweat it at all. We go forward. And so we're making it happen right here today on Run Tell That. So this is what we say. This is the conversation. This is a conversation with regard to us and me sharing some things and giving some perspectives and some thoughts. And so I have to go and say this, that my producer, Julius Hall, threw some things at me too, that I'm like, I'm going to wait to not have that conversation. But I'll let y'all know today is a special day, just to let y'all know that today is a special day because today is May 18th. And what is May 18th? May 18th is Haitian Flag Day. This is the day that we celebrate Haiti. Haitian Flag Day is today. And so we are honored to have been a part of the program that took place in Savannah at Franklin Square that I call Haitian Square. I give it a nickname of Haitian Square. And so we were right there on Franklin Square giving out some of the history and some of the culture as to why Haiti is important to us. Some of us look at Haiti, and when we look at Haiti, we say, oh, that poor nation right there. Now understanding that I'm going to use the phrase, and somebody might think that I'm taking the phrase from them, but I've always said this right here, that it is a diabolical plan. A diabolical plan was created to make Haiti look a certain way. The diabolical plan was done by the United States, by Spain, by Britain, by France, and the Brits, that England. They all did this with regards to Haiti because they understood the importance of Haiti. If African Americans, African Latinos, African, I'm saying French, who are in the Caribbean and Mexico and in Central and South America, they understood the power with regards to what Haiti represented for them having gained their freedom. And so for many of us, we look at Haiti, look at the state of Haiti right now and say, oh, poor Haitians, that they've done this to themselves. No, the United States played a role with regards to undermining Haiti. Some of you think about what happened with regards to President Aristide. President Aristide undermined by the United States government. Bill Clinton, people like to call him the Black president. Bill Clinton played a role with regards to undermining Haiti. But prior to that, Haiti was undermined by American governments in the early 1900s. That, again, people think about the invasion done to Haiti by the United States government under the Clinton administration, but they tend to ignore the invasion of Haiti that occurred in the early 1900s, in which now you have racist military personnel who go to Haiti. And as I shared with some of y'all and heard me talk about this, that an international Black Lives Matter movement occurring, in Haiti, in which you had Southern military personnel now going down into an island that is operated by Black folks, and they are now killing them indiscriminately, shooting them when these men are merely looking for trying to get food, to hunt food for their families, being killed. And so not only are they killing Black folks, but they also taking their wealth from Haiti. Yes, Haiti had wealth, and they took the wealth, and the wealth was sent to a place called the United States of America. So a portion of what they call the gross national product of Haiti was given to the United States for decades. Not only that, you have some Haitians were going to say to you that please give us back, no, not please, give us back our gold. That gold reserves in Haiti were taken from Haiti and not sent to the United States of America. So with regards to that, that's why, again, Haiti was invaded, being undermined economically. And from there, you now have someone put in place to now operate the government of Haiti based on behalf of the United States. That is an agent, the Duvaliers. And y'all know about the Duvaliers because that's one of the reasons why they were sent. Papa Doc and Baby Doc Baby Doc was removed. Because again, they were puppets for the United States in the Western Hemisphere, in the Caribbean. And as long as they did the bidding of the United States, everything was okay. As long as they were repressing people, it was okay. They were repressing their own people. And so the United States then, but now you see independence coming there for Aristide and others, that the United States is not like that anymore, going back to that legacy of going back to the early 1900s when they undermined Haiti. Some of you probably saying, well, Jamal, it's even longer than that. Yes, even longer than that, going back to 1804 when Haiti will now gain its independence. And with that independence, it now set a tone for Africans in the Americas. It set a tone that Africans and Americans could gain their independence and they could fight against these nations that we know as being the United States, being France, being England, being Spain, being England, Portugal, and fighting against them and even going to Denmark. That again, Africans are now tied into this revolution that was going to happen with regards to freedom. Bear with me just for a second. I'm making sure that I get on the page so then that way we can check out any of the commentary that's being put out by any of you all checking out the show this evening. Because again, we appreciate you all checking out the show. We say share, 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 share. Bear with me. That will say we share, share, share. Say share, share, share. And so with regards to that, the Haitian Revolution is important. Haitian Revolution is important not just with regards to us, but the Haitian Revolution is also important with regards to what occurred with Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass said that, and again, some of y'all, and I know it goes against the grain of some of your thoughts and some of your psychology. Frederick Douglass talked about that Haiti gaining its independence did more for Black folks to have freedom in the United States than any Caucasian abolitionist. So I've heard people talk about this, that Black people are not able to achieve without the support of Caucasians. But guess what? Douglass went in and knocked that based out the box from the 1800s when we talk about that even today. Douglass went and said that Haiti gaining its independence did more for Black folks to have their freedom in the United States than the Caucasian abolitionists. And even when you talk about the abolitionist movement, people generally think about Caucasians leading the way. It was not Caucasians leading the way historically. It is African people in the northern part of the United States and even some in the southern part, the upper south of the United States. They are the ones leading the way. So again, we create these fantasies with regards to our history that is frightening. And that goes to another element we're going to deal with later on. But so again, I had to go ahead today and share about Suniti Belair, one of the mothers of the Haitian independence who fought alongside her husband during the Haitian Revolution. Along, we know General Toussaint Louverture. We know about Papa Dessalines. And Papa Dessalines, Emperor Jean-Jacques Dessalines, is the one that will bring about Haiti's independence. He will be the one that declares Haiti's independence. Toussaint gets it to a certain level, but then Papa Dessalines, the ferocious, the magnificent, he is the one that now galvanized and finally gets to freedom. And so you have President Alexander Pétion and then also King Henri Christophe. And that's why for those of us in Savannah, anytime that there's any celebration or anything connected to Haiti, we should have a special feeling in our hearts for that, because we can say something that no other place in the United States can say, that a founding father of an African nation in the world, Haiti, walked upon this soil. King Henri Christophe is here during the American Revolution. King Henri Christophe, he is here in the U.S. during the American Revolution as a drummer, and he is, again, one of the founding fathers of Haiti, and that no other place in this country can say that, but Savannah can say that. And also, let's go back to this right here, that some people understand and see the hypocrisy with regard to the United States, with regard to how Haiti is treated. That if you are Cubano, you make your way to Miami or to South Florida, they throw you a parade. You are given a parade. But if you are Haitian, you get there, they are about trying to deport you or trying to detain you in a concentration camp. And that some people don't want to recognize and think about and talk about that what we saw in the 2009 is essentially Haitians in concentration camps, that even Haitian school children not getting proper education in the system that they had down there. Inhospitable. Even today, they talk about African people with regard to inhospitable conditions that they kept in and being detained. So again, American Revolution, Haitians are part of the battle for you to become a nation, but their children, their descendants are not able to even enjoy the fruits of their labor in helping this country become a nation or setting a part of the pathway. Yes, and what happened for the patriots in Savannah, Georgia, that some of them are able to still maintain and have their freedom, or have their lives because of Haitians who basically sacrificed their lives for us to not have this place that we know is Georgia. So again, that's why Savannah, Georgia must always be on the forefront of making sure that Haiti's in its proper place. And so we were part of the Haitian Flag Day that was done. And I mentioned Suniti Belair, one of the mothers of Haiti, and that the flag that was done by Haiti is done by Catherine Flawn. Catherine Flawn, an African woman, she's the one that designed the flag for Haiti. And so that's why, again, we pay homage, because on this day, we give homage to him, to Haiti, Mother Haiti. Yeah, Mother Haiti. Then on tomorrow, on May 19th, It's another day for us to celebrate, for us to reflect and think about and ponder about. That is the birth of a brother by the name of El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. You know him better as Malcolm X or Malcolm Shabazz. On May 19th, that is when Malcolm is born. And that Malcolm is one of my heroes. And again, one of the people that I idolize and respect because of his sincere leadership. Malcolm was sincere. If you disagree with Malcolm, Malcolm, I will tell you, is probably one of the greatest leaders that was sincere leaders that we have seen in the history of African people in the United States. Malcolm was selfless. Malcolm was not about himself. Malcolm was about the people, about the community. So that's why, again, I have mad respect, mad love for Malcolm, and Malcolm's birthday is on tomorrow. Well, some people used to do also, this was tied to also something called African Liberation Day. African Liberation Day. That, again, commemorating Malcolm, but also talking about African liberation in the United States. And so, around the entire world. Yes, that's a lot. Liberation around the entire world of African people. African people having liberation. It is necessary. It is deserved. It is a must. It is not something that's supposed to be fanciful, not something that's supposed to be a fantasy. This is supposed to be reality. We all have an obligation to work towards that because everyone has benefited from Mother Africa. As I said, Mother Haiti, everyone has benefited from Mother Africa. Mother Africa, her children have brought about wealth to this entire world. So you all, again, you look at wealth in Europe. How did France become wealthy? Any of y'all know how France became wealthy? I'll share it with you. Even today, right now, French government officials and presidents have said that if France no longer got the support from African nations right now, it will be a third world country. That's what they said. That if France essentially, I'm going to break it down the other way. If France is not able to exploit African nations right now, that is the Francophone nations, they call them the French-speaking nations on the continent that, again, that were colonized by the French, that if they do not have the support from those nations, that is the robbery, the strong arm, the blackmailing from those nations, France will be a third world nation. That's Africa. Africa has done that. That's why France was so furious with Haiti, because Haiti was called the richest colony of all time. Richest colony of all time in the history of the world. They say Haiti was the wealthiest colony of all time in the history of the world. So France lost Haiti. It didn't care about anything else. That's why you had something come about called the United States, and in American history, it's called the Louisiana Purchase. The Louisiana Purchase came about because Haiti gained its independence. The United States doubled overnight once Napoleon saw that he had lost the greatest jewel, which was Haiti. And so now, even today, France still exploits African nations. And so we look at those African nations and take the same type of view and say, wow, these black folks don't know how to control or operate governments. No, you have interference. That's what's going on. You have interference with regards to our society, with regards to our governments. And that some of us sit right there and we watch it and see it. And we're in positions of power to do something about it, but we say nothing about it. So yes, today, we look at that and we see that. And the African Liberation Day was about that. Malcolm was about that. Malcolm is killed because Malcolm understands that our struggle is not a civil rights struggle. It is not a civil rights struggle. Malcolm understood the struggle was about our people being in a position of power around the entire world. And so I'm starting to read some of this. Okay. Yes. And the information, Reverend Betty Joe's glad to have you right here. And so some of this information, the Legacy Ebos Landed, yes, ma'am, that's done by Queen Quet. We have a book list that we share with people also, so that we got that information out there. And yes, the information I'm sharing with you right now are in books also from it, which if you contact me, I can send you out a book list. Because Walter Rodney and others, again, talked about this and how Europe, developed Africa, but capitalized off of Africa. And excuse me, not just African nation, that is Caribbean, that again, black people funneled this support with regards to what we see in Europe right now. England, what you see in England, the wealth in England was tied to Africa and the Americas. Yes, the Industrial Revolution was tied to what happened with your ancestors here in the United States, in the Caribbean, in Mexico, and what we know as South and Central America. Yes, the Industrial Revolution that you think was just brilliance that was created by Caucasians, that they brought that about. It came from the wealth that was generated by your ancestors. So when we talk about this debt, and that Randall Robinson and others were Trans Africa back in the day talked about the debt, that a mighty debt is owed to African people, people of color. And that is what the frightening thing is. The frightening thing is that people know that the debt is owed, but do not want you to focus on talking about the debts. So when you talk about reparations, you talk about the debt that is owed, and that Europe being the place that some people are going, you marvel at Europe, you marvel at Italy, you marvel at France, you marvel at England, you marvel at Switzerland, you marvel at Germany, you marvel at these places, but they're not understanding that these places gain wealth off of your backs of your ancestors. They gain backs off gain wealth off the backs of African people, and that no one calls it out. So that's why we do this. We bring this out. That we say having conversation to at least plant the seed, so that way I know that my soul, that my conscience is clear. That I have said things and put things out there that are pertinent to our people that we need to address right now. We need leadership to address these things. And so again, as I shared, European nations are able, even a nation such as Denmark, gain wealth also based on Africans. So some of you go to Copenhagen, and you go there and you enjoy yourselves right there. And you think about you love the Nordic aspect of all this right here. You love all of that. You talk about the Scandinavian aspect. You enjoy all that, but never thinking about how it is also tied to African wealth for them now to gain that, for them to have that. Pure absolute exploitation, using people, pimping people out. So they pimped out entire societies of people. And then when they decide to turn against them, or turn the light of truth on them, they turned against them. And that's why Malcolm was assassinated. Again, the Honorable El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, Malcolm X, assassinated because he began to say, we must take the struggle of African people in the United States to the United Nations, and put the United States on the world stage and say, you cannot be out there saying that you are going to be the policeman for democracy in the entire world, when in turn you have African people here being oppressed, suppressed, and repressed here, denied basic human rights. So Malcolm now is putting it out there, and people shied away from that. But Malcolm spoke the truth. And today people say Malcolm was right on point. So we say to you, why wait on leadership? Why wait when leadership and people who are speaking out on your behalf, giving you the insight, and you choose not to stand up at the time, and then after they are gone from here, some 5 and 4 decades, you're going to say they were right on point. Why not accept the leadership, the information that's coming out right now from these people who are leaders and people who are part of your community? When they're giving it to you, right, they're giving the science. But then some of you defer with regards to that because you, as I discussed with regards to Malcolm, that Malcolm was selfless. Some we have in our communities as leaders are selfish. They are selfish, so they in turn look out only for themselves and their children. That is a problem that we must address ourselves. We must confront that at all points. And then some of us have just a absolute sheer fear of standing up for what is right. And then what is so sad, some of us profess this understanding, this acknowledgement of God, and talk about how much we love God. And some of y'all heard me discuss this and say that God, if you love God, then you stand up to man and woman when they're engaging in injustice. That's just something that's real simple. So putting it out there to you all. So that's why we say Malcolm. We look at Africa. We look at Africa being exploited. We look at humanity, because again, it's about our humanity being respected. And that's what we talk about, that we look at that Haiti being respected. Because again, it's about our humanity. Our shining black prince Malcolm was called our shining black prince by R.C. Davis and others. And so because he's our black prince, I mean, someone who spoke on our behalf, a protector for us, we need to stand up and continue the legacy of Malcolm. So now we got that out the way. We move on to something else. I was moved this week right here by a group of black men who, when a situation occurred that one of their own was at one of the lowest human states possible, one of the lowest human states possible. Excuse me, actually, since they were in the highest human states, but that's when the person that transitioned to the hereafter. And that those black men, when they found out that there were not funds in the coffers to help that person with regards to their homegoing service, those black men rallied around and pooled resources together. I was moved by that. I was absolutely moved by that. And it wasn't anything that took them 20 days to do. It wasn't something that took them 5 days to do. It took them less than 3 hours to make moves like that. Less than 3 hours. These black men came together to now look out for one of their own. As I share with them, this is something that should be put out there in the community. This is something that should be discussed around our city, should be discussed around our state, discussed around our country, discussed around this world. That black men, when they have the mind to do something that is moral, something that is right, spiritually correct, that supports the humanity of who we are as a people, they can do that just like that. Again, like I said, did not take them 5 hours to do it. Didn't take them 24 hours to do it. Those black men say, hey, wait a minute, one of our own does not have the means, or their family do not have the means to bury them. They say, guess what? We're going to make it happen. One of them said, bam, in 2 hours, I'm sending the casket. I'm sending the casket overnight. I'm looking like, yo, oh, it hasn't even been 2 hours when I gave them the news. I gave them the news, shared the news. In 2 hours, one of them already has said, I'm sending the casket. Then the others like, okay, we're going to get together. 3 hours later, they're now sitting down. They are now talking. Folks from around the entire country, these black men from around the entire country, they're now sitting down and talking to one of the relatives, and they're saying, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. And bam, pooling their resources together to now make it happen. The relative was so moved by this, she was like, Jamal, I didn't expect any of this right here. And I was saying to her, this is how they operate. They look out for their own. And that's why I tell them, we look out for our own. And so I want to pay homage and honor those black men. Those black men came together and pulled it together, and still, even today, still doing it. And then not only that, by them doing that, guess what? Then black women didn't join it. Black women didn't join it. They say, hey, we see what y'all are doing. We're going to do this. We're going to help also. And that's why I'm like, see, here go black men being the standard bearers for their community, being standard bearers for their people. That is your job, black man. Black man, that is your job. That is your role. That's what you're supposed to be doing, black man. You're supposed to be a standard bearer. You're not supposed to be on the sideline. You're not supposed to be somebody afraid. You're not supposed to be somebody scared. Black man, it's your job to stand up, be a standard bearer for your community. And then guess what? Everyone else in the community will stand up also. They see you out there on the forefront, then they too will be on the forefront. The women and the children also now say, we have role models. And that's not to say that women are not role models. Women are role models. We understand that. And we carry that torch with regard to them, highly with regard to that. But we're saying that it is a totality of who we are. Or I just said totality. Some people want y'all to be divided. You want women against men, want men against women. You want children against the elders. You want the elders against the children. As a Pan-African, much in the same vein as El Haj Malik El Shabazz and Malcolm X, I do not believe in division. I do not support your conversations when you try to say that we are divided against one another, that we ain't together. We are together. It's that the media and other people who don't have any good intent for you plant those seeds of destruction in you that become weeds. I understand. I support the effort of, again, humanity, Africanity. That is who we are as a people, respecting our humanity and understand we are together, because I see it. And that's why I said I want to showcase these black men when now they are told about an issue. They came together, and still, even to say today, still coming together. And now even black women now witnessing what those black men were doing, they now jumped on board also to not take care of one of their own. Powerful statement with regards to that. Powerful statement with regards to that, how we should be functioning, what we should be doing. I say to all of us, within the sound of my voice, who are looking at Run Tell That today, that is our obligation for each one of us to do that, to look out not just for ourselves, but look out for our community. When you look out for your community, you elevate your community, guess what? All of us will be elevated. And so that's what it is. We can come together. Black men can come together, not based on sports, not based on some other trivial things. Yeah, black men can come together when they understand that it is time for us to pull together as a society. And so, matter of fact, one of them calling me right now. Let me see something right now. Bear with me for a second. Oh, he hung up. But yeah. So my thing is saying, hey, we want to make this happen. Black men, we want to make it happen. Not just one day of our life, every day of our life, black men, we want that to occur. And so that's what this is about. This is about us coming together as a people. And now I'll throw this out there, something else. This is a part of an issue that we have. And we discussed this last week. Violence in our community, violence in our community, violence in our community, violence. We have violence in our community that some of the perpetrators look just like us. Some of the perpetrators look just like us and are guided by other people, guided by other machines, guided by other entities that are not us. So that's not, I'm not absolving them, but I'm letting you all understand. That's one of the things for me that I constantly grapple with. I grapple with regards to us as a people, with us being caught up into somebody else's narrative about who we are. That I tell you, they try to shape and fashion you to a creature that's not you. They try to unshape you from your humanity. They try to take away from your Africanity. Because when you understand your humanity, your Africanity, then you know how to treat people who look just like you. I just had a group of people with me less than an hour ago who are from Seattle. And I talked about this right here. I said that when Black people understand they are descendants of the best, they function differently. So that's why for some of you right now, with myself and how I function, see, I understand that when I see a person of African descent, and see a person again of African descent, when I see them, I understand something about that person. They never have to utter a word to me. When I see that person who is of African descent, when I see that person, I realize I'm like, yo, somebody in their family survived like somebody in my family survived. Somebody in your family survived like somebody in my family survived. That means this right here, give you a background, that what happened, the majority of the people did not survive the journey from Africa here to the Americas. That the vast majority of them died. And so what happened, I tell you, if you see a person that is Black in the Americas from Canada to Argentina, guess what? That means that at least one of their ancestors survived. They may have more than one, but at least one of their ancestors survived. Yo, that is powerful right there. And I tell folks, I say that means that only the best of the best survive. Some of y'all heard me talk about this, but some of y'all don't really take it in. For me, I live that and understand that. So I say only the best of the best survive to make it here, to be here. So that means what? That I am a descendant of the best, which means that I must carry myself differently, treat each other differently, especially people who look like me, and make sure that I look out and treat my brothers and my sisters right. Yo, that is a part of what people are trying to take away from you, because no one in this world, don't even try to come to me about some biblical stuff and talk about the ancient Hebrews, the Hebrew Israelites, because they're not the same ones of today. I'll let y'all understand it. Because you look at people today, that's different. Those are not the ones. That's not the one that's talked about in the Old Testament. And guess what? You can't talk about anti-Semitism, because guess what? Guess what? Black people don't understand. You are Semites also. So that's, again, and if you're a Muslim, if you're Arabs or whatever, you don't even understand it either. So, but that's another story of another day. That's another lecture that we can get into. But with regards to that, no people on this planet can go and assert that. No one, only African people, no other people can assert that experience that you call the Maafa, the great disaster, the African Holocaust. The key Swahili word is Maafa. Maafa, the great disaster. No one. So that means that I tell you, that's why you are unique with regard to this. That it was not expected for you. I'm not the first person to say this. It was not expected for you people, for your ancestors to survive, for you to survive and exist. That is something that is divine. That is divine. That's why you have divine purposes in your life. That when you are here right now, no child is an accident. So with regards to that, guess what? When you see somebody who looks like you, who of African descent, you got to register and have in your head, whoa, somebody in their family survived like somebody in my family. So I need to have a kinship, have a relationship with that person. Not one that's acrimonious, that one that's at odds with one another. We might joke about high schools, about colleges, about neighborhoods. That's just a joke. When it comes down to it, I know that whatever school you went to is peanuts
compared to the fact that I know that somebody in your family survived, and I have a brotherhood or sisterhood with you. I have a relationship with you. That's why when I see you, I gotta have respect for you. And what is tantamount to betrayal is when we engage in violence against one another, when we turn on one another, when we do wrong to one another. It is tantamount to absolute betrayal to the race, to the ethnicity, when people who are in position to help us turn on us, in positions to help us. You heard me just say that. And when each one of you are in position to take care and nurture our communities, it is tantamount to betrayal when you don't do that. I just said it. It's betrayal to the community. It's betrayal to your ancestors. It's betrayal to our people. You must start loving. You cannot love other people before you love yourself and love your own family. You can do that, but guess what? That's a sickness. It is natural for people to love themselves, then be able to love other people. But some of us turn our backs on people look just like us and go loving other people. You know why they do that? It's almost like because they are pets. You are a pet. Some of y'all heard me discuss this. It's the concept of a pet. A pet will love its master, love its owner, and even sometimes even turn against ones like them. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying this violence that's in our community, it's been shaped and fashioned in some of our people against their very nature. That's not your nature to function like that. And so again, I had someone talk to me today, and some of y'all heard about the incident that occurred in downtown on Broad Street, that where it was road rage, that someone indicated, a young man indicated that, hey, somebody on Broad Street was driving, and they said, hey, you almost hit my girlfriend or hit my girl. And then the person then stops, and then the person then engaged in firing and shooting at that person and killing that person. What causes us to do something like that? And I'm going to say it's the psychology that has been put in us, the mispsychology that's been put in us, that hate ourselves and that hate that people look just like us. I'm not the first one to talk about this. Dr. Chancellor Williams discussed this right here. He talked about this. He said that what happened for some of us, because we hate ourselves, that when we see people look like us, we hate them also because we hate ourselves. So that's why I try to throw out the people concept about being the best of the best. And even people who have been around me and heard me talk about this, and I had shared with some of y'all that some of y'all hear me talk about the concept, but you don't embrace the concept because some of you have heard me talk about it. And guess what? You even go and engage in betrayal against me and other people who look just like us. Well, we have not caused you any harm. Now, again, you heard what I just said. I have not caused you any harm, but you then go and engage in betrayal against me. You betray me and others who just look just like me and you. So you betray the people who look just like you. So, and that's because you have not been shaped and fashioned, and you have ignored the truth that has come to you. Like I discussed earlier, again, I bring it back. You might think might not be a connection, but I talk about with Malcolm and others gave you the truth, told you all, but some of y'all wait 50 and 40 years later and say, oh, wow. So here go Lil Jamal telling you this information, giving this information, and some of y'all then turn around and do what? You like poo-poo it. And I said the best of the best. And you ignore it and been around me and heard me say it 50 times. And guess what? And you still engage in betrayal against your people. But you now understand it is a part of a plan, a diabolical plan. Again, another diabolical plan. Because if you're not aware of this, and I shared it on some other shows, Georgia, as things continue, as it should, with us being healthy, now again, being healthy, psychologically being healthy, not having that mispsychology come on us, but having healthy minds and then functioning healthy, Georgia will have a majority Black population. Excuse me, the largest population in Georgia, that to clarify, the largest population in Georgia will be Black, African Americans in the next decade, 2030. So, but you don't realize, some people understand that this will be the first state in the United States that have the majority of the population being Black. That again, it won't be say we are 50% about, but we Black 40 something, but it will be Black people. We'll be to have the largest number of people in this state right here, us, which means that we have political power. Oh, excuse me. We should have some political power, even greater. We should have some economic power, even greater. We should have some educational power, even greater. We should have some social power, even greater. We should not be the ones clamoring about seeking social justice We should be the ones to be able to administer social justice. I'll repeat that we should be the ones now in 2030 being able to administer social justice even fully. We want it right now and demand it right now, see to do it right now because we're in position of power to do it right now. So by 2030, it should all be in our hands. And that when it comes to educational power, we should be the ones to make sure that there is, again, competent cultural education in this state. Competent cultural education in the state, so that that way everyone can be elevated, that everyone knows the story, the true story, and know history, not mythology. That some people want you all to get mythology or just ignore history altogether. So we should be the ones that now making sure that there's economic powers here in this state for everyone. Because guess what? This is what the deal is. People don't realize Black folks, when they're put in position of power, they are able to not bring about parity for everyone. Only misguided Black folks or those who've been trained, as I shared, almost like pets, and show all the loyalty to other people and ignore their own. But then Black people who have understanding, they make sure that parity is there for everyone. Everyone has parity. Then also it goes to political power. Political power, that you ensure that everyone is not able to exercise their right to vote. Everyone has the power to not vote. That's the power of what we are when we're not in positions to now really make change and effectuate change. And that's why I'm saying we're on the cusp of being able to do that. And so I want you all to now understand that we are here. We are here to do such. And that's why I'm telling folks, we are here to make it happen. We have been ordained to do this. Oh, the best of the best. The best of the best. Oh my God, I just said that. Oh, wait a second now. Who was that saying my brother? Was that my brother? I got to do something right here. I got to check something out because somebody did call, but I just wanted to see something. Bear with me for a second. I'll just say, see what's going on. I just got to make sure about something. Because again, the best of the best. That's what it's about. And that's why I'm telling people, that's what we've been ordained to do. Because the Most High has put us in.
What's going on, my brother?
My brother. That's what I'm saying. Was that you who made a comment?
Yes, sir.
All right. So guess what? Guess what? Even though you ain't on the link, but guess what? You on the phone right now. People can hear you. My brother, you got any words? And that's why I say, when I told y'all about a group of Black men, this is the gentleman right here. In 2 hours, Gary Johnson, and that's why I say, my brother, Gary Johnson, he went and said, hey, wait a minute. I'm sending the casket. That right there, G, I'm gonna tell you that, G. That's why I was like saying I had one people to see y'all, G. That right there, I want to tell people, say, that's Black men. That's real Black men right there. That's the Black men that I know. That's the Black men that the whole world need to know about. Brother, I like when you did that, that was awesome. That was magnificent. That was divine. And so, brother, that's what I want to acknowledge. I want people to understand, saying, this is what Black men can do when they come together. And then when the rest of the brothers, when they did that to pull together, I was like, yo, I want people to understand and know what this is about, because I grapple with that. And so anything you want to say, my brother, you got the floor. G, you on the phone? I'm just checking. Yeah. I'm saying anything you want to say?
Yeah, absolutely. We talking about this brother Kanard Jenkins, man.
Yes, sir.
This man loved on everybody, man. He tried to pour into people's lives. I could come into this house just like I came in just now and turned you on. I could hear him in the back room talking to my dad. Not only did he talk to my dad, he talked to my brother, talked to my sister, talked to my fiance, calling from Chicago to help a young lady with physics, help my fiance daughter with her math. I mean, anything that I call him, he was there. I mean, just and they present one side of Black men, but they don't understand. His family ain't got nothing to worry about. Everything will be taken care of because that's what we do. And it ain't like we just started doing this. This is a 30-year relationship with me and this man. We never had a cross word. Nothing but positivity, lifting people up, and trying to help our community, as much as we can, whenever they would let us. whenever they would listen. And you've been doing the same thing, preaching, trying to spread positivity ever since we was in college, back in the 90s. And you still do it. I'm so proud of you, man. I love you.
I love you, G, and that's why I'm saying that what you all did. And so again, and that's why I wanted to have them on. And then Kennard Jenkins, you know, and some people say, well, y'all might not need to talk about this on the show. I like that. Why I grab them. I'm like, no, we need to talk about this on the show because Kennard Jenkins from Savannah, Georgia, Kennard Jenkins passed away. And so then I got the call. My mama called me. I was on a tour on Sunday. I'm like, my mama called me. I'm on a tour. And so then she said, call Sandra Lawyer ASAP. Bam. That didn't happen. Then I get the information. I share the information. And the others start sharing the information. And then that's when they were like, we got to do a Zoom. I'm so like, okay, cool. Kevin Johanna said, what time? I said, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, everybody's on the Zoom. And then Gary Johnson, who's on the phone right now, Gary Johnson, straight out from off Skidaway, Fernwood, Parkwood, all that right there, that Gary Johnson is like, the casket is already taken care of. So I'm on the Zoom like, look, okay. Then they like saying, okay. And we call Sandra up and then bam. And so everybody, and I'm like, and I'm sitting there like saying, this is family right here. And then I said, Jamal, this black men right here. This is what black men do. This is how black men function. I said, this is what got to happen. This one, I said, you know, I grapple with it. I said, but hey, you know what? No, the whole world got to know about this story right here. They got to know about these black men right here who pulled together, like to pull resources together, and then inspired a group of black women, young ladies, you know, who also say, hey, we got to do something for Kennard. We got to do something for the family. We got to do this right here. They call from around the country, from Texas, from various parts of the state of Georgia. They come, everybody want to know. People, even this morning, folks hit me up last night also saying, hey, we got to do something. That's power. And I'm like looking at, here go black men, took the lead, and then I could inspire other people to do something. And I'm going to say to all of you out there, that's the role of black men. And that's what black men are important. That's why black men are necessary. That's not saying that it's not with regard to black women doing the same, but so often we are bashed as black men about what we're not and how we are failures and how we are not in the lives. I'm like saying, and not in the communities. Guess what? Here go a family in need. Not necessarily, they didn't say they were in need, but if people realize that they need some help, they're going to stand up. And now I said, Gary Johnson, bam, with the spark of a part of it that everybody was like saying, we got to roll with. And that's why, again, that love that we have for one another, it is real, it's sincere. And it's not just for us, it's for everyone. That's why I say, when you love yourself, you can go and love other people. Because again, that ain't got nothing to do with no hate, because I love myself and love my brothers. You know, guess what? I love my sisters. That means that now when I'm with, today I had some people, some children, young people with me who were Asian, who were Latino, you know, that were Arabs, that were Caucasian, that were African American, all together with me, and I'm touching all of them. Because you know why? Because I love myself, then I can love other people. And because I love my brothers and sisters right after me, like I love myself, then I can go and give that to other people. And so G has been doing that work right now. You know, he's been in Nebraska, he's been overseas. And so again, the work that he's doing, and I'm going to throw it out there, with regards to the Catholic Church and the thing, how you touching lives too, brother. If you want to say something, that's cool with me. All right. So I got G on telephone. That's what I saw. But again, throwing it out there.
Hey,
yes, sir.
Out your mouth to God's ears. There's going to be a Catholic mass set for him tomorrow morning.
Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that?
That's what we do. We physical and we spiritual.
And I tell folks that, and Jesus, I tell folks that, see, sometimes I'm the truth. I tell folks, I'm an angel. I'm an angel. I tell people, I say, I'm a vessel. I'm just a vessel.
And so now I'm going to share with you. I tell people, y'all, I know some of y'all think I'd be joking, but I'm like saying no. And it's not being hard. It's just saying that when you try to be in tune and try and do the right thing, that's it. So that I didn't even know that about regards to Catholic Mass, but I'm saying that I know the work that my brother Gary Johnson is doing with regard to the Catholic Church. So again, I tell folks what happened. That's right. That divine come to all of us. That's why I say we all have divine purpose. We all are connected to God. We all have that. And we just need us to tap back into that. And my brother, anything else you want to say and share with God to this? Yes, sir.
Hey, to everybody in the sound of my voice, hey, I love you. And if you are hurting, you reach out to people. Reach out to your brothers and sisters. Don't. You didn't get put here on this earth by yourself. And God put us here to be instruments for one another. Our gifts are for other people, not for ourselves. Don't be out here chasing money. You better be chasing love.
Powerful words. And see, again, me and him have never discussed this right here. I tell folks, your greatness is never achieved by yourself. Others help you to achieve greatness. And that is not about being selfish, it's about being selfless. And that we all have these purposes. That's right, because he and I never discussed this right here, but that's what it's about. That's a beautiful thing. And so I go and share this right here, say, listen, he inspired me, and all those other men inspired me. And that's why I say, Black men are here. Black men are doing. Black men are real. And Black men are leaders and will be leaders. It's just that we have to have us putting it out there and promoting it so people see. Because sometimes we promote the negative side about Black men and not the realness of Black men when they can step up to the plate. And here go Black men stepped up to the plate. That's why I say I have mad respect for them. And I have to go and say this right here, because I wasn't going to try to be pushing it too much with regards to this. I would say that the greatest moment for me and Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and so now I'm saying that anybody member of fraternity and sorority, I'm not trying to, this ain't about no battle right now, nothing like that. I'm just telling you my own personal thoughts and sentiments for me right now. The greatest moment for me to be a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was on Sunday. And that's when now something Gary was saying, I'm gonna let y'all know. And that's why for me, when I say I was grappling with some of this right here, the greatest moment for me was what they did on Sunday regarding Kennard Jenkins. Because I said, that to me, all the other stuff that people might have saw and heard and seen, things like that, I'm like, that moment right there showed me really Alpha right there. So again, we have the relation for a long time. There's a lot of things. We've had wonderful, joyous things that have occurred in our lifetime. But this right here, I like saying, that is it right there. That is, again, that is the eternity right there. And I was so honored and so proud to be a part of them and saying, hey, and I know there are other groups of Black men also and Black women who've done the same thing similar, but I'm just letting you know, like, so I say promote them also, let that be known. But I had to say that was one of the greatest moments. And then I wanted to say that, listen, that we know that God is the master of the time for all of us. And that I said to myself, God had this occur like this so we can now let everyone else know that with regards to Kennard's life and this moment with his life, that now tell everybody we have to come together and we can show how we can come together as one. That again, his life was not something that was tragic or in vain, that this was a sign for God for us, the living, that now understand that this is what we can do and we should manifest this every day of our lives. As long as we walk it, we are able to manifest that every day of our life. And that's why I said, wow, I can't be sad about this, because I'm like saying Kennard's life now is tantamount to some things that are even greater than any of us. It's now going to even to touch other people and saying that this is what we need to be doing every day of our life, because it manifested itself. Because sometimes we get take it a little easy, but no, this story of Kennard saying, no, this is realness. This is a continuation. Yeah, Gary said, G said, it's been going on for 30 years, but now it's like saying, I'm going to make it even greater for y'all to understand what this is about. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, this has been real.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I tell you, I've been reflecting the last 24 to 48 hours of thinking, if Kennard had my gifts, he had my health, what he would have done. And I tell you, it is really really made me double down. I'm going to hold out for high, and I'm going to strive to be the best I can be in every moment, because that's what he did.
G, and again, that's why I'm saying to you all, and that, and oh, let's just know. So, and if you see G, you see myself, that again, you look that, and Kennard, all middle-aged brothers. So there's not anything that you would even been expecting to say one of them will be passing away. But then, just like you just heard him say that, it's not this pushes us to have to go even higher right now. We have to be even, we have to function on an even higher level. That, yes, and that's why I'm like saying, I started saying, yo, this is divine. So this way, I say, I can't go and cry. I can only cry if I fail and not carry on the legacy of Kennard and the legacy of what I've been taught from his life and what happened on Sunday. That's when I should cry. But otherwise than that, no, I need to be joyous about this, right? I need to be joyous about this right here. So that now, just as G said, y'all heard Gary say that this is just about me. I got to push it to another level every day. I can't let this rest a single day.
You got to become spiritual masters.
That, my brother, that is absolute. That is it. And so that's why I'm like, this is why I want folks to understand that this is real. That again, and that these are. I'm saying these men right here were superheroes. These are superheroes right here for me. I'm like saying I ain't gotta go look at a Marvel comics or look at a Marvel movie. I would say I got black men who are superheroes around me, and so guess what? I'm trying to be like them. I'm trying to be like them. And actually, I'm gonna say this right here. I'm gonna put it out there to all you. I want to be the weakest link. I want to be the weakest link of everybody that I'm affiliated with. I want to be the weakest link, because that means that y'all better than me, and that means I'm gonna be striving to be like y'all. So let me be the weakest link. So if I'm the weakest link, guess what? Then that means I'm gonna be striving to try to be like y'all, which means that we gonna still be tantamount to greatness and still carrying that word. Yes. And so, my brother, it was absolute honor to have you on the show.
Man,
I say,
you are a force of nature, my brother. You've been doing this ever since I met you, and I'm so proud of you. I love you, brother.
I love you, and I would say the same here, same here. And that's why I'm gonna let you close us out with any words, any thoughts that you want to share with the audience. Cause now, G, I'm gonna let you know something right now. The producer for our show, his name is Julius Hall. He went to Tompkins High School.
Oh, wow.
And Julius Hall is like this. See, all the other shows on ATR Network, they have like 5 hours, 2 hours. They have 24 hours. See, Gruntel that has only 57 minutes. And so Julius Hall will shut me down even 57 minutes back. He'll shut it on down like ain't nothing. And then got some students I had, my students, they said they gave me an extra minute and they shut me down too, following Julius Hall. But I'm going to do my brother. I'm going to let you close us out with any words, any thoughts that you have. And I'm sure he'll even give you a look. You ain't got to worry about the 57-minute mark, but I'm just saying. But my brother, any words, any thoughts that you have, you want to share with the Run Tell That audience and anybody to be checking this out at any other point in their life?
Well, I tell you what, don't sleep on the education and the love and the upbringing that you received in Savannah, because it works worldwide. People are just astonished at the things that I bring to the table, and what I bring to the table, I bring y'all to the table. And it completely blows them away. And I just want to say thank you for everything that you guys poured into me, everything Savannah poured into me, Dr. Jackson, Gail,
yes,
Joe Rivers,
yes,
all of the people back in Savannah, because I tell you, you make it easy. You made this life an easy life, and it's just because of the love that was poured into me in Savannah. So I'm just gonna say thank you. That's all I can tell you.
All right, my brother. Those are wonderful words from my brother, and we say thank you all. Run Tell That. We say spread the word and let all of us understand we all have our divine purposes in our life, and let us go forward with that. And just as Gary said, let us not infuse that every day of our life. And now we say we take it to another level. And we say to y'all, Run Tell That, peace and blessings, continue on this journey. And again, we pay homage
to our brother Kennard Jenkins. You know, he was now gone on and part of the mega chapter. And again, that's to all others who have gone on to their other chapters of life. Again, because they've gone to another powerful realm, gone to heaven, gone to be the creator. All right. So to y'all, peace and blessings.
I like that.